Welcome to Mentorify, or as we like to call it, mentoring by the millennials. Because there's always going to be somebody who's walked the paths of the place you want to reach. And what if that person can come live and share his story or even the mistakes that they made? And you can have even one or two takeaways from this, and it leads to your desired success. I think that will be our biggest success story when you come back and tell us that you watched this webinar and it helped you, because it will be like a Mentorify community complete. And we've been doing all these webinars for professional course exams. We thought this time let us get a placement ready webinar for all of you. Because I'm sure with placements around the corner, everyone is asking all your seniors what to do, what not to do, what should I do to get my dream job. We've decided that this can be your forum to ask all those questions to somebody who's gone through that process not so long ago. So it's a great honor and a big privilege to introduce to you our speakers and esteemed panelists for today, starting with Shreya Verma, who's a business technology analyst at ZS Associates. Next up, we have Tanish Sehgal, who's a software developer at BrowserStack. Then there's Ayush Suri, mobile application developer for Ion Energy. And finally, Kunj Haria, full stack software developer at Think 360. Thank you everybody for coming today. Thank you for agreeing to be here. I hope all the mentees will have a great learning session from all of you. So I think before we kickstart into the agenda and what to do and what not to do, can you all just give a brief introduction about yourselves apart from the JD that I told everybody y'all are in?
Sure. Hello, it's great to be. So hello everyone, I'm Shreya and I'm a business technology analyst at ZS Associates. I'm also a proud alumnus of KJ Somaiya College of Engineering, and I graduated in 2020 from the computer science department. When in my final year, I was also a winner of the Economic Times Campus Stars Initiative. In my third year, me and my teammates, we won 2 national level hackathons, Smart India Hackathon 2019 and IIT Bombay Hackathon in the blockchain track. I was also the financial head of Computer Society of India, which many of you all might be a part of, hopefully. So yeah, that was about me.
Thank you.
My name is Tanish and I am a software developer currently at BrowserStack, and also same an alumni from KJ Somaiya College. Throughout my college life, I won 2 hackathons. One was at IIT Bombay and the other one, the SIH 2019. Yep. Ayush.
Thank you, Tanish.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayush. I'm a mobile application developer at Ion Energy Incorporation. I'm also a proud alumnus of KJ Somaiya College of Engineering, and I did my diploma, 3 years of diploma. I didn't go to the normal path. And during my diploma days, I won the Student of the Year award in 2015, and I was also the general secretary of the entire Vivekanand College. Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Ayush.
Hi guys, I'm Kunj. I am a software developer at full stack developer at Think360.ai, and same like those two, Shreya and Tanish, I was on their team for Smart India Hackathon and the blockchain hackathon, and we did won that. Apart from that, I also am from Somaiya itself, and I did my diploma from KJ Somaiya College only. It's the Polytechnic College. Yeah, that's it.
So we have full Somaiya power today, but you all have been placed at various, through campus, not through campus, and at various being analyst and a software developer. I think everybody will be more enthusiastic to know about how did you get those roles. So jumping right on into the first agenda point that we had, there are, I'm sure, many rounds, be it aptitude, coding, HR, all sorts of rounds that you have to go through before you're placed. So about or tell them what all you should be aware of, do and don'ts to go ahead in these rounds.
Sure. So Being a business technology analyst at ZS Associates, and ZS is actually one of the top 10 data science firms in India. It was rated as 8th, to be exact, to be correct, by Analytics India magazine. So it has been a great experience in the data science field so far. It's been 9 months, and so I'll just share my interview experience, maybe how exactly I got through it. So I was lucky that KJ Somaya, had really good campus placements, and they had great companies coming in. So I applied. So in my third year itself, I was a little inclined towards the field of business technology, business analysis. So then I thought that ZS, being the company that suits my likings, I should definitely apply for it. So in ZS, the first round that we had was aptitude test, and most of the companies have an aptitude test that is a must. Like, you have to clear it to proceed ahead for the interviews. So for the aptitude test, the questions that were included basic maths. So one of the books that really helped me get up to par with my quantitative skills was R.S. Agarwal. So I would really recommend that. Apart from that, I was also studying for GRE. So I had joined classes for GRE. I got a lot of insights on the tips and tricks to crack the quantitative questions from there as well. So I think both of these together helped me crack my aptitude test. And once I cleared the aptitude test, then we had to go for the interview round, which was in Pune, like pre-pandemic era. So we were all invited to our interview. And so we had 2 rounds in our interview. One was the HR or the fit interview. So HR round was more about questions from the resume. So everything that was asked was related to my projects or the hackathons that I did, then the internships that I did. So for the HR round, I think the only one thing that you should keep in mind is know everything that you have written in your resume. It is extremely important, because if someone asks you, tell me about your internship experience, and you fumble and maybe you're not able to speak about it, then that question, the interviewer will be like, what exactly did you do? So before you like go ahead for your HR interview, make sure that you know everything that you have put in your resume. Apart from that, we had some basic problem solving questions. So I was asked, I think, how will you exchange values of 2 variables without using a third variable or a temp variable, which I think is a very common question that I think all engineering students solve in their first year. We use C++ to solve such kind of questions. So those were basic problems that I had. Apart from that, one of the important questions that they asked me was, why do I want to join ZS? Now, ये question सबको ही आने वाला है, irrespective of which company you are applying for. I think it is one of the questions that every company asks, like, why do you even want to join us? Now, a good suggestion here would be that prepare your answer, before you go for it, because you're going to get this question. So make sure you have a good answer, and don't keep it something very simple. Like, maybe you can research a little about the company, go to their website, find out what exactly do they do, and what kind of jobs they have, and what kind of work. Talk to your seniors, maybe somebody who got placed in that company, so you get to know a little bit, and you can maybe form your answer accordingly. So that is one of the questions that you must answer really well. It has an impact. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it about the HR interview. Then the other round that we had was for case studies. So now case study interview round is something that only consulting firms have. So if you're going for a core software developer job, then you're not going to have this question, not going to have this interview round. But if you're applying for a consulting firm, then case study round is definitely going to be there, especially for all firms like EY, maybe one resource that really helped me prepare for my case interview was by Victor Cheng. So Victor Cheng is a guy who has his own website, he has his newsletters, and he also has a YouTube channel. So I did not prepare for the case interview for like 1 or 2 months. It's nothing like that. It was just a good 1 or 2 day preparation before the interview, for the case interview. So in case interview, what basically happens is they'll give you a data set. Then they'll ask you to create reports on that. They'll ask you what insights can you draw from it. Suppose if you're the business intelligence guy at your firm, then what all insights can you get, and what all reports can you draw from it. Because when you present your data to the higher authorities in the company, they are not going to care about the data. They are not going to care ki kitna sales hua and all of those things. They just want a consolidated summary. So how do you, given all of the data that you have, how do you consolidate it and present it? So case study round was extremely important, and the technical part of it, like the technical side of it, involves knowing SQL really well. So when I was in college, I took SQL for granted because college mein honestly zyada kuch sikha bhi nahi hai. I mean, we'll just write maybe queries of 3 to 4 lines, and that's it. I mean, that will be asked in your exam. So you don't really get to know the depth of it. We focus on other languages like Python and Java, which are important, obviously. But SQL ko itna importance nahi dete. So when I came into ZS, I saw that people are writing thousands of lines of codes in SQL, and I was a little bit intimidated, honestly, in the beginning. How am I even be able to do it? But ZS had boot camps, and you eventually, like currently, it's been 9 months since I've been working and writing SQL. So it's pretty great. I mean, now that I get to know the depth of it and how much there is to it, I'm really like blown by it. It's really amazing. So if you want to go for data science and if you want to go for the business analytics field, make sure you are thorough with your SQL, basic joins, and all of those concepts that are taught in the DBMS. And business analytics, DBMS, RDBMS, all of these are the subjects that eventually help you out in your journey in data science. So in the case study interview, they will ask you, ki ye tables diye hai, this is the data that you have, write a SQL query and show me, how will you obtain this data how will you obtain this insight from the given data. Apart from that, I think one of the other questions which I personally wasn't asked was something called as guesstimates. So guesstimates is also something that they ask in the interview rounds. I personally wasn't asked one, but I know a lot of my friends who got questions on guesstimates in their interviews, in their consulting interviews. So yeah, I think, and be confident, be extremely confident. I think that is one of the things that matters the बोल रहे हो ठीक है confidence के साथ बोलो. I mean, that happened with me in the case interview. That we had to answer around 5 to 6 questions, and I did not know the answer to one of the questions. So whatever I thought, I said it, and it turned out to be wrong, and that's fine. But just the way I spoke, I was just being confident, and then a little help from the front also, and you're able to crack it. So
इंटरव्यू का भी सोचना चाहिए, अरे ये शायद सही होगा, मैं चेक करती हूँ. That confidence, if you have, it makes an impact. Sure. Definitely. I think all of y'all, I hope y'all are making notes, because she did mention many publications, what all rounds she had to go to, guesstimate. She didn't have it, but you can have it. So uspe y'all can watch your videos, everything. So make a note. Moving on to the next one. I'm sure Shreya covered a lot, but since all your profiles are different, yeah.
That was more towards data science, so I think Tanishq covers maybe software development in detail.
Yeah. For software development or SD, the first round obviously will be the coding round. So for that, Lead Code or HackerEarth or CodeChef, like any of which you are proficient with or currently you are using, works. So 2-3 mahina, if you have not done like CP mein, if you have not done anything like throughout the 3 years or 4 years, in whichever year you are, so 2 to 3 months before you sit for placements, try to practice that. The coding round should be cleared with that much, and then the next round for me, particularly for BrowserStack, were the machine coding rounds. So for different companies, there are different type of rounds. So this is pretty specific to BrowserStack. Like they don't directly after the coding round, they don't directly ask you to get to the interview directly or some other round. So there is a machine coding round. So there are 2 projects type of thing that you have to make in these machine coding rounds. So 2 hours are given for 2 projects. So for me, the first project was to create a website, and then as BrowserStack is a testing company, we had to first create a demo website and then also apply using Selenium, apply test automation on that. And the second question was also like something similar, like we had to create a website, use WebSockets, get some data from the server, and like that. Some questions similar to that were there. Then post that, when we cleared these 2 machine coding rounds, there were 2 interviews, one with engineering manager of the company and the next one with the director. Yeah. So in these 2 rounds, it was mainly on your resume, whatever you have done in the college, like agar abhi maine hackathon jeeta, so what projects you did in that hackathon, then internships, and also like internships. I mean, if you want to land in good companies, first land in good internships. That is like main. So internships का पूछेंगे what you did in those 2 to 6 months, whatever months internship you do that. And yep, director round was mainly totally on resume and your nature, how you are, like your personality or something like that. And yep, that was the last HR round. That was around 20 minutes. So all general HR questions, what you want to do with, why you want to apply, why BrowseTech and all that. So yeah, that was
so I think even yours, one question was constant, why you want to apply to this organization.
Yeah, that will always be there in HR round.
So question spontaneous होने दो, तुम्हारा answer premeditated होना चाहिए. You should know when you're applying that why you're applying for it, and have a good enough answer that they are also, it's genuine but it is real. The next one.
So hi guys, as you know, I'm a mobile application developer, a very hatke job. Okay, it's like बहुत लोग नहीं करते. So as you know, Soma में placements, when you get placements, you don't get mobile application developer placement specific. Okay, the job description is mostly software developer in Java or full stack developer or a graduate program trainee, all of this. So I started applying to off-campus jobs. Okay, my job is an off-campus. I didn't get it on campus. So I applied to a lot of on-campus jobs as well. I landed a job also in Pepperfry, but I didn't like the job profile. So what I did was I started applying to jobs after my 4th year. Okay, it was the pandemic period where where there was a lot of hustle of jobs hai nahi hai in the market and all. But I stayed confident and I knew that I'll get a job. But side by side, I was doing a lot of internships. I got a lot of internships after my 4th year. I did 3 or 4 internships, and then I finally my focus was to build LinkedIn. Okay, so I think that LinkedIn is a very powerful tool to get jobs around in this market basically. So I started building up LinkedIn. I applied to jobs. If I don't even remember the count of how many jobs I applied to around 1,000 jobs. Okay, overall in this pandemic period, because I was very tensed about getting a job. Everybody was tensed during this pandemic period, and amongst these 1,000, I got a reply from only 15 to 20 companies. Okay, because I was a fresher basically, and off campus and fresher, like it's a very bad combination basically for a company. They'll ask you on campus se kyun nahi liya tum log ne. So that's the first thing that happened. So in this case, I started applying, and then I landed a job into a startup company. It just started around in 2015. It's called as Anenergy, and they build basically batteries, and their prime customers are Ola and NextCharge. There are a lot of this. So I like the job profile, one, because I had to interact with hardware. Okay, and this hardware software combination is always what I like. And I was the complete in charge of the mobile application developer for both Android as well as iOS. And I'm an Apple lover, so iOS being a part of my life, I constantly learn about iOS development, and so that's why I wanted to get into mobile application development. So my rounds for the first round was a normal round with an HR. Basically, it's a very different kind of a thing where first round is an HR. So he started asking about my internships and my why did you take diploma? Why didn't you do 11, 10, 12? That was a question that he asked me. So I told him that I was very focused on doing engineering. So that was an easy path for me, going through diploma and then get into engineering. An early hands-on on the programming languages basically. Then after the HR, I had the first call with my manager. He was the manager for the technology in the technology front. So he asked me normal Java questions and Swift questions, because for iOS development we require Swift. So he asked me normal questions like life cycle of an application and about Google Firebase and all of such questions. And in Swift, he asked about info plist, which is a very important question in iOS development, because info plist is a very huge topic, and it is a very important document in the iOS development framework. Then after this round, there was another round, which was an assignment round. So basically, they told me to make an application within 2 days, which was both for Android as well as iOS. So I had to submit a project. In this project, I had to use APIs. So these were like open source APIs of Bollywood films, and the release dates of the releases of their of the films. So I had to create an application out of it. And the last round, there was another round with the CTO, where the CTO will discuss about the project, what we used, why you used it, and how can you optimize it. And the last round was a normal interaction round with the CEO. So CEO round was one of the best rounds, I could say, because it was a very unique round. It was not related to my resume, or about my project or anything. One of the question he asked me was, what is your spirit animal? So this was a very unique question that he could ask, basically. So yeah, that was my process.
I think thank you for the modest reply. You've broken all the conventional ways that everybody goes through, let's say through campus or the diploma route. But you were pretty honest and forthcoming, so there's nothing wrong in determined that that's what you want to do. So that will give a different perspective to the people listening. And I think finally, Kunj, you can go.
Yeah, hi. So basically, I had two different job offers. So I think I would just speak about both of them. One I had with, so they have a very different and unique approach for hiring people. I think most of the big companies that are tech giants, they all have more than 3 rounds in their job hiring process. So for me, it was first obviously the aptitude, and she has already brushed up everything about aptitude, so I won't bore you with that. But what she said, it's definitely required in the aptitudes, whatever, irrespective of your job profile. That doesn't matter, because aptitudes are usually the same for every job profile that you apply. So next 3 rounds were a very different rounds that no one, actually even I myself had no idea about those rounds. So one was your analytical skills. So basically my job profile in IBM was completely generalized job profile as an associate engineer. So there, according to their rules and regulations, associate engineer is basically a person who can go in any stream. May it be cybersecurity, maybe product development, maybe analytical solutions, maybe blockchain, even blockchain also. So they had an analytical round for us, where same as Shreya, we were given some case studies not related to business, but a general case study about how we would design a system, or maybe if this is the system, then what would be your production way of doing things. One was brain games. Next round was brain games. So brain games are usually fun part, where everyone are playing games. So basically they even on the sound system for you guys, and you are playing games, and for every game or every puzzle you solve, you get a point for yourself. So at the end of 10 minutes, the total score is made. So if 50 people are applying, so out of that 50, there are a certain limit. So they choose 25 after the brain games. So that was a fun round to go. But at the same time, as you go up higher in the ranking system, which they show you side by side, you would find that you are getting difficult brain game questions. So prepare yourself for simple brain game questions like solving a cube, or maybe like crossword puzzles and all that. So it's just normal brain games that we play on our phone, but just a point-based system. And the next round was psychological round. So basically they have a lot of questions. It might be 50 of them. But it has a way of, treating your psychological profile. So what they do is, first to 10 questions, what they would give in psychological round would also repeat after 30 questions. So what you replied on the first question also matters what you replied after that, because after a certain of question your mentality changes, and they want to see that are you firm to what you have answered. So that is one of the thing that was a major change on psychological round, because out of 20 they only select 3 or 4 after psychological round. So that 4 people go to, the interview and the final round where it's everything normal as they all 3 have mentioned. Since being an open position and no, fixed path, so it's basically everything what they said. So that was the interview round, and of course the HR round, which was basic. What are you? How are your families and all that stuff? So how many people and all that. So that was my IBM experience. And for the current job profile that I'm working, Think 360, they had 3 to 4 rounds. The same first was basic. Then since it's a software development position and being full stack software development, so it had the coding round. In which they literally eliminated we were only 1/3 left out of the total list. So that was a great changer round for everyone. Basic questions, what you can find in HackerRank or maybe competitive programming websites, and even the websites Tanish mentioned. It's the same for everyone. But you have to design a system in such a way that it works as a whole rather than just solving the problem. So that's just a different part of full stack developer. And then there were interview questions, interview round where the person sitting next to you was also a full stack developer. So they asked questions regarding, the whole product, how it works in front end, how it works in middle layer, and how it works in back end. So they would, give you a question like, just design an application for a bank. So what would be your front end options? What would be your back end options? What would be a middle layer in those two? So it's not just front end and back end in real life, real world, companies. There is always a middle part also. So I think we would discuss that later, since this is just the experience of interview. So that was the main point. So what they would ask if the other person is also a full stack developer, so they would basically ask the projects that you have mentioned in your resume. They are keen to know what did you do in that projects, and which technology did you use. And my suggestion would be stick to one. Basically, for the position that I had applied, Python was the only language they needed. So my company works completely on Python and no other language except the front end part. But for backend, it's Python and Python only. So just be firm with the language and apply to only those, positions that you feel comfortable. Because if you, being a Java developer, applying for a Python, company, chances are that you might not get a good interview round. And after that, it was the normal HR round, same for every same. Why do you want to join the company, and what all family members are there in your so it's completely the same. Yeah,
So I think thank you for that wholesome answer. You covered, I mean, of course, technical does get your foot in the door, but you being mentally prepared, that posture, that composition that you show in those even 20 to 30 minutes of interview, that gets you through the door. So I think, but technical, like I said, is important. So all of your major of our participants being engineers, resume, as you all mentioned, is the first, that is your impression on paper. So what should they do to have a right resume for the job profile that they are applying for? Certain internships they should do, like even mentioning your hobbies, is that required? Something on that front.
So I think one of the most important points here would be to, form your resume such that it is specific to the job profile. So for example, if you are applying for a job which is of data science, then I will make sure that, all my subjects like machine learning or data science or maybe databases, all of those subjects are covered, and any course that I did related to all of those things are covered. So resume, usually, it's best to keep your resume only 1 page long. So it's not possible to fit everything that you did in your 4 years into that 1 page. So make sure that whenever you're applying for a job, it is 1 page long, definitely. And along with that, it is also very specific to the job that you're applying. And I think others would agree to that. So when I was applying for ZS, the only courses that I had mentioned were related to database and machine learning. And along with that, some extra courses that I had done. And even when it came to languages, so college honestly confuses you. First year में C++, C सिखाएंगे, second year में Java सिखाएंगे, third year, fourth year में बोलेंगे Python का भी course कर लो. So you are confused. You don't know which language you should stick to. So whichever you should see the company ki is company ka requirement hai ki SQL hai ya Java hai ya Python hai, so accordingly put that language related skills in your resume. Even if you know all, just mention those related to your job profile.
Yes,
And
I
any
agree.
internship advice that you all have, that you should do a certain kind of internship before applying?
I think that internships do matter, but you should have good projects also in your resume. Okay, because these projects give you the on hand practical knowledge. And internship, if you're applying for a data science role, then do an internship. Try to do an internship in a data science role. If you're applying for a mobile application developer role, try to do an internship in that particular field. It's preferable. It's not compulsory, but it's good.
And know your resume in and out before you
Yes.
go for the
Yes.
interview.
Yes.
My opinion will be like doing your internship, like not waiting for any vacations, or like generally what students do is wait कि अभी summer holidays आएंगी then I'll do internship. That is good. उसमें you have to do, like you can do full time then. But even if when your college is going on, engineers do have pretty much like good amount of time to do extracurriculars too. So in that, do more internships. Like try to do part-time internships. You can find them through portals like Internshala, or many more are there now. So try to find part-time internships, because if agar like general semester में you are not able to do your own projects, or are not able to find कि अब मैं क्या करूँ ना, so for resumes you need something in project section also. So if you do part-time internships, so उसमें you will be doing some projects. So if you're not able to do projects on your own, those part-time internships will surely help. And like वो दोनों में आ जाएगा, work experience में भी आ जाएगा, and like in the projects also, plus stipend है तो like it's good for you also, like some money also.
Yeah, also I feel ki building your technical profile definitely required, but along with that, if you join some council, that's definitely added bonus. Basically,
Yep.
mentioning every aspect of your technical parts definitely important in a resume, that's for sure. But also mentioning the other activities that you do. Even hobbies, you can mention areas of interest. If you have multiple interests, or some part of which you are unclear that मेरे को ये भी करना है ऐसा, so do mention them in areas of interest. That's definitely I was also a part of council. That definitely helps to know the other person, that you have guided people, or you might have conducted, or you definitely have some sense of coding skills because you were a part of that role. Or if you have any academic achievements, such as maybe you might be top of your class, even that doesn't sell your point, but definitely keeps you in the top of the list. That is for sure. Not that I'm saying that it's important, but yeah, maybe it can be a good part of it. Yeah.
And gives you that person reading of idea of who
LinkedIn profile, until maybe like 4th year. बट दूसरों का प्रोफाइल जाके देखो कि उन्होंने क्या क्या डाला है, कितने अचीवमेंट्स डाले, कैसे सेक्शंस डाले, हाउ दे हैव अरेंज्ड इट, इन व्हाट मैनर दे हैव. आई नो उनको पता चलता है कि तुमने उनका प्रोफाइल देखा, बट दैट इज फाइन. It's okay. I mean, even if they get to know, it's fine. Just go and see people who have applied for different jobs. उनके profiles जाके LinkedIn पे देखो and see how to maintain it and how to have a good impressive LinkedIn profile. Resume important है for sure, but nowadays in the digital era, LinkedIn profiles are extremely important,
especially for like off-campus jobs.
Yeah, so that is what I was coming to. If I think the question is targeted mainly to Ayush, because you were the one who did take that leap. So for opportunities beyond campus placements, I'm sure, I think Supriya also had a question. How did you apply for? So if you can answer from that angle.
Sure. So I'll explain you about the off-campus funda. क्या होता है? So basically, you have to have this digital presence. It's a very important thing now in the current era, because earlier off-campus it's like you apply, they call you, सामने जाके you give them the resume, you sit for the interview. It's like this. But now it's not like that. It's completely digital. So I made accounts on Monster, I made Naukri.com, AngelList, Internshala, LinkedIn. I made accounts everywhere. I don't even remember now. Okay, I even applied to jobs outside India just for the sake, and because I am learning a language as well, so I know German, and that being it's an added advantage to any company because knowing a new language, a foreign language, it's a very huge thing. And yeah, so first thing is the resume building. So resume building has to be is very important. uh, Resume should be company specific, and also job specific as well. So if you're applying for a role for a software development, as Shreya said, that it should be you know it should be specific to that particular role. Some If you want to make your resume unique, there are tips that you can search online. uh, Try to make the resume less colorful, because don't make it very colorful. Uska matlab ye nahi ki colorful bana hai, so it's like HR will like it. It's not like that. HR sees the keywords. Make your resume in PDF format only. Don't send a docx format. Your resume will be rejected at that very point of time. Second, no spelling mistakes. Even a single spelling mistake means that you don't know your resume well. Basically, you didn't read your resume well. And the next thing is that I did was consistency in applying. I applied to jobs every day, 100 jobs, 200 jobs. I didn't have the count. I just applied. I applied. Okay, this was my daily routine. Get up in the morning, see jobs on LinkedIn. What are the open positions? Is it suitable with my thinking? I started applying, and as I said, I applied to around 1,000 jobs, and I got calls from 20 odd companies. And yeah, so whatever suited me, I selected that. And matlab rejections to hote hi hai. Don't get disheartened with the rejections. And yeah, so hello.
Was the consistency with which he
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah. So the consistency, basically maintain the consistency, and do not get disheartened.
Consistent.
Maybe his network isn't that consistent as he was in
Yeah.
apply. But
I'm sorry for my network. I don't know why it's shitty today. So yeah, and yeah, last point that I want to focus on is that don't get disheartened with the rejections. Companies will reject. They'll send you long emails, and वो बीच में ऐसे दिखता है unfortunately. मतलब starting में लगेगा कि अच्छा है, then बीच में दिखेगा it's unfortunate.
Germany, Mentofy with Nice Rex. So there's that organization in Germany that helps you get jobs there. So if you do want to wish to apply in Germany and find out if you're suitable for a job, you can always share your resume with us. And they have asked us to do this market survey where we can provide them the right fit of candidates who can work. And STEM is their focus. So I think you all fit into their mandate.
And I want to add on something. You can hear me, right? Yeah. I want to add on something for for resume building and LinkedIn profiling and everything. You can come back to Mentofy, and we can help you out in whatever we can.
Okay, thank you for that. And finally, jumping to the last one, corporate experience versus college life. So I think Kunj, you can take it over.
Yeah, so basically it's completely different than we imagine at campus. We learn different technologies. Even I had learned a lot of technologies and diploma in engineering. One of those technologies that we use in my company is Django. So basically pretty much everyone thinks that Django में code कर लेंगे, कुछ problem नहीं होता, template ही तो बनाना है and all that. That's true. मतलब all those things are definitely required. But what we don't know is the files that we don't see in that. There are certain files. If you ever go through a Django project, then you might come across some files, manage.py. Maybe you would come across a WSD file. So those are the files that are always untouched files for campus life. So the major shift is, developing any application professionally or for the real world or for the, how other companies would use your product. Companies, if it is a B2B or if it is a B2C, then it's a different thing. But the, underlying concept remains the same, that how you develop those products. So campus, it's completely different. I won't say that you won't learn anything. Definitely, you definitely learn a lot of things in campus, but at the same time, how you use your technology and build that professional software that we say is something totally different. So definitely a big change. If you think that campus and corporate is similar, then it's not almost similar, but there is a complete different experience. So yeah, you would definitely feel that.
I think we before move on to the questions that people have asked, uh, all that you have experienced and the sharing that you've done shows that there's always nice when you have somebody who's guiding you into this, because it is a bit different when see you ask seniors, हाँ दे देंगे एक दो आंसर क्योंकि पता है, but it's nice to have somebody who has been there and guiding you. So and all these people have very graciously agreed that they will help in the hand holding process. So I think I'll ask Shreya to just brief us of how will that be done.
Sure. So for all of you all, like Mentorfy we have agreed with Mentorfy to conduct like courses. So as Kunj mentioned that Django जो उसने college में किया and Django जो वो अभी professional industry में कर रहा है उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा difference है. So to help you bridge that gap between all those technologies, we have like Kunj himself and all of the other mentors, all of us over here, we'll be conducting programs, we'll be conducting courses in Python programming, web development, wherein you'll be taught how to build amazing websites in Django and React, and mobile application development as well, which Ayush will be taking. So all of these courses will be like 21 days long, and we can definitely, if you guys want more details, firstly, you all can DM Mentorfy, because Mentorfy is present on Instagram, they are there on LinkedIn, and you can also get in touch with Rasika or any of the members. So all of these courses will really help you bridge the gap between your campus to corporate journey, basically. And another thing from my personal experience also, कि Udemy and all पे हम लोग courses तो कर लेते हैं, but Udemy पे course करना easy है, मतलब वीडियो देखते रहो, assignment के नाम पे कुछ भी submit कर दो. I mean, I feel that they have amazing courses, no doubt. But if you have been mentored, किसी ने personally has taught you all of these things and industry में क्या होता है and all of these languages, then that definitely has an added advantage. So doing courses online, and मेरा personal experience ये था, like मैंने बहुत बार try किया to learn some new technology from YouTube. So I watched that YouTube video, but then I firstly finding the right YouTube video is such a big task nowadays, because इतने सारे वीडियोस है हर टेक्नोलॉजी पे. आई जस्ट गेट कंफ्यूज कि यार कौन सा चैनल अच्छा है. मतलब 2 दिन तो वो एक चैनल डिसाइड करने में जिसको फॉलो करना है, सीखना है, और जिससे वो डिसाइड करने में निकल जाता है. उसके बाद देन you start learning that course, and then there's so much frustration, because if you get stuck, you don't know whom to go to. If you personally know somebody जिसको वो चीज आती है, good, but otherwise if you get stuck while learning, you don't know who to reach out to. So for that reason, if all of these courses will be there where we are personally mentoring you. So kuch bhi doubt aaye to we'll be connecting with you all throughout the day, during the weekends, we'll be having weekly connects and all of those things. So these courses would be really helpful. And for more details, obviously, you all can reach out to Mentorfy. And along with that, all 4 of us will also be conducting one-on-one sessions. So one-on-one session mein, I mean, I know you all have learned a lot today, but if tum log mein se kisi ko bhi, personally connect karna hai with us, then we'll obviously be there for you, and you can connect with us in the one-on-one session. Now, coming to the main thing why we are here, preparation of interviews, to get the job. So for that, we are also going to conduct mock interviews. So just to give you a proper feel of how it is on the day, what the interview is like, how many rounds are there, kya questions aayenge samne se, whether you're being confident or not. So the 4 of us are going to personally, set all the interview questions, and we'll conduct all rounds for you, depending on which job position you're applying to. So if you're going to apply for data science positions, then we'll have questions related to that in the interview round. If you're going to do apply for positions related to software development, these guys will help you form questions like that. So all of, we'll personally set the questions and give you a proper feel of what your interview day is going to look like. So definitely, I mean, mock interviews are another thing we'll help you out with.
Thank you. That is great. I mean, if somebody is so prepared before the D-Day, then there's nothing to worry about the D-Day, and the job will be yours. So I'm sure you all will all be enrolling because it's a great opportunity. But moving on, we did get many questions from you in the Google form. So I'll be throwing them at the panel, and please give your insights. So the first one being, what is COVID impact on jobs? Since y'all are COVID, been in that, and the people will be facing the same issue. Any impact that you see?
Yeah. So I applied during my COVID times. Okay, it was like a prime duration where everything was in lockdown, nothing was open. I started calling HR. You know what I did? I started connecting with all the HRs of all the companies personally. I didn't care that उन्हें accept करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. उनको DM किया, ask them कि can you give a referral? Can you give me a job? It's like that. I'm being frank, because and this is a very unprecedented time. Kuch, in this you don't know what to do, what you can, and finding such a kind of job profile that I wanted. It was a very niche kind of a job, and yeah. So during COVID times, it's difficult, but don't lose hope. Consistency is the only key. So keep on applying, keep on applying, keep on applying, and yeah.
Okay, so it's not demeaning that if you do something like this, you need to do it if you have to get it.
Yes.
And I think all four of us can definitely help you guys, get referred to our companies. So किसी को अगर interest है in getting placed in any of the 4 companies that we are, we can help refer you to our companies.
I think that is where your analysis might work. If they do come to you, you'll have a first-hand check कि भाई ये ठीक है, I can refer and put my name behind it.
Definitely. I mean, if you all apply for the mock interview, so उससे हमें पता चल जाएगा, and we'll get an idea of who you are. We can get to know each other, and then definitely they can, because college का एक restriction होता है, that if you get placed in one company, you cannot apply sit for more companies. So what if in the beginning you get placed for one company and then later there's some good company coming. So अगर college के बाहर से if you're able to get into companies, apply to them through referrals or through other manners, definitely go for it, so that college mein then you still have that option of sitting for the best company.
That is true. The next one being, what is the importance of competitive programming in placements? Tanish, if you can take this up.
Yep. So depends like what type of role you are applying to. If generally are applying to like full stack development role or SGE role, software development, software engineering, any SWE role like software SWE role. So for that, your first round will compulsorily be aptitude. If it's aptitude, then the next will be coding, or the first round will be coding round. So in that, first is data structures are important. And if you are doing CP, it will help you a lot. CP is like competitive programming. So competitive programming is like you have to do it minimum 1 or 2 months before. And if a company is like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, even more like 4 to 6 months, like lead coding or code chef will be required, or basis on your analysis and aptitude also, it depends. So for these roles, it is like compulsory, you can consider.
Okay, and I know you all didn't mention about group interview, but how if you all were put into one, or if you have any prior experience to handle group interviews?
I think group discussion is nowadays there in very few companies, but it's an important round. And according to me, the 2 most important things in a group discussion are, first is listening carefully, and the other one is having an opinion. तो मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि if you just have an opinion, that's enough, you say a point वो enough है. It's also important to listen to everybody, वो लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, and उसको लेके कुछ say your own point, like I'd like to add to that person, because when you do that, the person who's examining knows कि this person is not just thinking about what he has to say, but he's also listening to everybody and is basically जो group discussion होता है, he's actually a part of the group discussion. And अगर कम लोग हैं, maybe it's just 5-6 people, then it's also possible कि you can maybe take the initiative to actually start the group interview, or maybe give a nice conclusion to it and end the group discussion. But if there are like a lot of people, like for example, when I was मैं जब भी economic times campus stars के लिए गई थी, so that time we had a group interview and there were 25 people. So we had one topic, 25 people and 30 minutes. So you can imagine it's like एक जन को 1 minute भी पूरा बोलने नहीं मिलने वाला था. And 25 people, it was so difficult to get even a chance to speak. So in such cases, whenever you do get a chance to speak, in fact, there were some people who could not even get even one chance to speak. Like not everybody spoke. So firstly, try to you definitely speak. If there are less people, then that's great. Otherwise, definitely try to get a chance to speak. Put your own opinion. That should be your first thing. And second thing should be listen to others and also listen to others and maybe add some point to that. Even that would be very impressive.
Okay. Thank you for that. And one person wants to ask that, does a gap year matter? A drop or a gap year?
I don't think that it matters. I mean, if you have that skills and you know that technology, well, it doesn't matter if you have a gap or a year.
Okay.
Basically, they will ask you in one of the round, like HR round or the final manager round. But you can, if you have a genuine reason, it will not matter. Like if you have the skills and you have cleared the earlier rounds, so they don't matter much to them. If you have a genuine reason for that.
Okay. And you all did talk about different languages that you all were accustomed to in the job, but which languages to be focused on for getting the placement?
I think there is no fixed language as such. Whatever an individual feels, it's the best language for them, they should definitely pursue it in them. But companies do have, tend to go for certain languages. So if you are focused in Java, so basically be focused in Java. And if you are open to exploring, then definitely explore other languages like Python, maybe React, Angular for front-end development. And I think even C++ companies do come. I don't know, they do have a core, their core technology is C++, so they do come. But I think we all would agree that, don't just go for the language because it's, the most featured language or something like that. Go for language because you love it to do it. I think that everyone would agree, I guess.
Correct. So I'll take one from the chat box also. Dhruv is asking for internship placements or interviews. Is it more important to do projects or competitive coding?
I think that, see, competitive coding is a different field. You can do that side by side, but that doesn't impact on your internships. I think that project is a good thing to do because during my interview, he asked me to run the project, my final project, which was, nobody asked. So he did ask me the projects and all. So I think you can do both. If you have time, you can do both, or, focus on projects, put it on GitHub, yeah.
But
I think let it go hand in hand. There is no one option. Like you need to know CP also for coding rounds and clearing the data structure rounds, but also you need to have some projects too. Why projects are important is because अगर तुम project ही नहीं करोगे तो how do you know if you want to go in data science, if you want to go in software development? So for that, projects are important. If not projects, part-time internships are important. So what they do is like you can change your internship. You can try for software engineering role. If you like it, well and good. If you don't like it, you can change. You can try machine learning. You can try AI. So there are many fields currently. If you are even in computer science or IT, there are many fields in that too. Like you can go into data science, you can go into software, or you can go into BA as Shreya, like business analytics. So in that, projects or internships will definitely help because they will allow you to find like what you want to do finally after the 4th year, which job you want to do.
I think it helps in your own elimination round. It's an elimination round for yourself.
Correct.
And since you all mentioned about your hackathon stories, Dhruvi wants to ask, do hackathons really create a big impact on the resume, or is it okay if someone has not participated in one?
Try to take participation.
That's me. I have not participated in any hackathon.
So we have both sides of the coin here.
Yeah. So it doesn't impact anything. It's good. It's good you have to have an hackathon. I mean, not have. It's good to have an hackathon. If you don't have it, you should actually. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
If not, just participate. It irrespective of you win or not, just participate because that teaches you a lot of things that maybe you won't get yourself teached in campus. So yeah, hackathons do. They don't play a lot of difference. Big impact to nahi dega for sure. But if it is there, it's an added benefit.
Of course, it does give your weightage.
I think hackathons में जो learning होती है वो बहुत सही होती है. मतलब I had no clue about what blockchain is, but then I participated in one hackathon which was blockchain specific, and was 2 रात में I just learned so much. Because हम क्या करते हैं, कोर्स लेते हैं 2-3 महीना and we don't do it. तो hackathon, वो एक ऐसे 2 रात में पूरी नई टेक्नोलॉजी सिखा देता है. So that is one thing that hackathons definitely do. So you should definitely go for the learning because you have to sort of develop a product from end to end. So you get to know so many things that you might not in your daily, when you're doing your daily projects.
So that was on hackathons, but for internship, is there any good platform that you can suggest where you can find internships?
Internshala.
Even on LinkedIn, you can apply.
Even
There are a
LinkedIn.
lot of internships. Yeah.
Okay.
I personally did 2 internships from college itself. So if your college is actually offering you in-house internships, definitely go for it.
Okay. Then there was how should a mechanical engineering student try for an IT company for placement? Maybe one of you all can take a throw at it.
Sure. So I think mechanical वालों को core computer subjects तो नहीं होते हैं, like coding and all, but they do have data structures if I'm not wrong. So data structures is something that वो तो सीख लोगे तुम लोग, but apart from that hands-on जो coding है, वो lead code से help करेगा. Like for me, that is personally what lead code is what worked for me. I mean, I tried using CodeChef, but I just couldn't be very consistent with CodeChef. But when it came to lead code, I did it consistently for like a month or two before my interviews and also during the pandemic, after I got placed. So that is something that helped me improve my coding skills. Lead code करने से पहले basic syntax and all पता होना is fine. So उसके लिए you can definitely refer Geeks for Geeks or any YouTube channel. So उससे basic, if you get to know the syntax and all, then problems that you need to solve, that can be from lead code or CodeChef. I mean, if your college isn't teaching you and you want to go for a coding job, then you have to learn it yourself. Like a little basic at least, that you are able to clear your interview.
Okay, and now cyber security has been the new word. So what are company requirements for freshers in that field? If Kunj, you can take it over.
Yeah, so I myself being a cybersecurity enthusiastic, and I definitely plan to do a lot in that. But answering that questions, there are a lot of courses. I would say there are a lot of courses, but what I would suggest is any company that wants a cybersecurity expert or a personnel for a job profile, they would definitely look into the biggest factor is one is language. Most probably they would go for Python because that's the universal language for any ethical hacking course or any ethical hacking job, expert job, anything in cyber related field. Second is you should know your way around Kali Linux. Although there are a lot of Linux software operating systems that you can use, but I would suggest Kali Linux because it has every tools and techniques or every tools that are required for any cyber person to get familiar with. You can even use Ubuntu, that's not a problem, but if you use Kali, it comes inbuilt. If you don't use it, you need to download it otherwise. So that's the second most important thing. And being a fresher, usually the other interview person won't look into the certifications as such. But if you definitely have those, then it's a lot of impact on the jobs in cyber because those are a certified professional certificates. So basically, for any cyber security enthusiast in the participant list, definitely if you are planning for cybersecurity jobs, then you should definitely go through OSCP or its offensive security certified professional. And there is one in India which is given by Lucidius company. It's based on Delhi, and you have to go there and give the exam. But definitely think of it. And there are two of the certifications. One is from state government and one is from central government. But what I can say, but the validity of those certificates do expire. So basically, it's just like your driving license. You need to renew those certificates. So the ones that state and central government gives usually expires in 2 to 5 years. So every 2 or every 3 years, you need to re-give your exam. And the one that Lucidius give, it's around 10 years. And OSCP, it's the world's and the finest certified program that you should give definitely in cyber, and it's valid for lifetime. So basically, if I would say the amount of people pass that exam, it's 2% in the whole world. So that's very very low. And once you pass that, it's the end. Definitely would get a good job in any cybersecurity firm that you can think of. It's one of the major, certified program. But at the same time, it's very costly. So do plan yourself. People, prepare it for 5 years and then give it. Even people at the age of 30, 35 having, a software experience, cybersecurity, personal experience, they fail the exam. So do prepare very well because one exam literally costs you $1,200 minimum. So,
it was almost like you were explaining in UPSC characteristic, but
yeah,
I think it gives you that same weightage to your name
yeah,
in the engineering field. But
yeah.
I'm sure we have come to our time limit, but everybody wants to know more from you. So if with your permission, we can extend it a bit, I'll be happy to ask the questions. I'll do it like a rapid fire round. So we have a quick answers to all, so we cover all bases. So picking up one, are there any non-technical posts for an engineer? Maybe Shreya, you can take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think campus placements में भी जो jobs आते हैं, if I'm not wrong, Microsoft का job position सोम्या में जो आता है, that is non-tech, right? It comes for a project manager position or something like that. So campus में भी non-tech आते हैं, and honestly, if you want to go for a non-tech job, तो find out कि कौन सा skill है, मतलब if not tech, then what other skill that you wanted your job in, and develop that skill. It could be something like a graphic designer, which I wouldn't say exactly is non-tech, but yeah, I mean, it could be something like video editing and all of those things. So if you want to, yeah, marketing, sales and marketing. So वो सब जो भी skills है which you want to go for, then you can, apply for
Mentorfy
that.
has internships for that too.
Yes.
If you want to learn, you can surely at least apply for internships.
Yeah.
But moving on, there's a person asking, I'm learning Django and I want to do backend in Python. What shall I learn for full stack web developer? I think Tanish, you can go ahead.
So yeah, sure.
Anybody. Yeah, Tanish, you can take it.
Okay, cool. So Django is basically backend, and I guess he has also mentioned that what exactly is Node.js. So Node.js is like Django. It is a backend framework, web framework. Django is in Python, like based on Python, whereas Node.js is based on JavaScript. So that is the only difference. But for full stack development, you also need to learn front end. So only backend is a backend developer, only front end is a front end developer. But when you combine both of them and you are doing both together, you are named as a full stack developer. So it's obvious, like if you know Django or Node.js, but you also want to become a full stack developer, learn some front end like React, Angular, or something that is compatible with your web framework.
Yeah.
And
So
I missed it. Sorry if you all can all fill the feedback. I'm sorry to cut you, but if you can just fill the feedback form. I know we're taking your time, but that'd be a big help for us also. So we know what you want and we can schedule those for you in the future. And you can always contact us at hello@Mentorfy if we miss out any questions. I'll rope in all these people to answer all your questions. Don't worry. Then, sorry. Kunj, you can continue.
No, go ahead. I think he got the point.
Okay. Then I think this is directed to you, Shreya. How different is the role of a business analyst from a data analyst as ZS?
Yeah, I just saw that question. So data science umbrella is a huge one, and there are many jobs that come under it. So in ZS itself, in fact, we have 2 to 3 different job roles. So one is business technology analyst that I am doing. So that is more focused towards the understanding the business requirement of the client, understanding what the ask is, in what way the client wants to improve his business, and how SQL or whatever data technology that we are using can help him extract the data, extract insights from the data, and give the results. Now another job position is a decision analytics associate. So in decision analytics, it's core machine learning based. So if you are someone who's interested in machine learning, then you should definitely go apply for that job position, and not of a business analyst. So decision analytics is something that is core machine learning, and if you're interested in data science, then that is the job role you should apply for.
Okay, thank you. And Piyusha wants to ask how we have to prepare for technical questions, especially when some big situational question is there to calculate the distance with different situations. How can we tackle that? Maybe Kunj, you can take a pass at it. Okay,
I
anybody.
think this is the question from the guesstimates, I think, if I'm not wrong. So when they ask you guesstimates, they'll give you questions like every day Mumbai airport se kitne flights jate hain. So you don't need to know the exact count. They don't even expect the exact count. But think logically, ki per hour, maybe if you know kitne flights jate hain, then calculate ki din mein kitne cities hai total. So based on all of those things, you have to answer that question. I think one of the questions was ki Mumbai mein kitne auto rickshaws in total. So you don't need to know the count. You have to think logically, and you can explain your your thinking process to the interviewer. So you can say कि ठीक है, I stay in say maybe one city, and उस city में like there are 20 auto rickshaws according to me, and then you can maybe count the number of cities that you have in Mumbai, and then multiply that and come to your conclusion.
And सोमा ने एक क्वेश्चन ये भी पूछा था एस्टिमेट्स में कि कितना वड़ा पाव बेचता है सोमाया कैंटीन वाला. So that was also a question in Somaya. So they can be twisted questions also. So you have to answer. They see your thinking capability in this case.
More about the thinking process than the answer, I think, over here.
Okay. So Harsha wants to know that while making the resume, I'm often confused whether to put my mini projects or not, them being kind of ordinary.
See, if you have huge projects, I mean, if you have good projects, put them. Do not overfill your resume with all the projects. Decide on top 4 to 5 projects and put them in your resume, which are very important.
Okay.
It's like if you are not left with those, then you can definitely put mini projects, but try not to.
And what kind of projects should we add to our portfolio, like apps, web pages, APIs? Is there any specific?
Basically dependent on the job profile. So
anything that you are confident about, like if a manager or the interviewer asks you, like क्या किया तुमने इसमें, or like what, if you want to explain it, so you have done the most work in the project, वो वाले projects are preferable, and you are confident and proud also about that project, so it will be the best.
Okay. Amay, I'm happy to hear your question. You're the only one from the commerce background asking it. But after BCom or MCom, I think if you're rendering to the HR, normally people go for an MBA or do an internship to get a hang of how the job profile is. So if you need somebody from the HR side to answer this well, we'll put a mail back to you with this query. But I think an MBA works in the right direction when you're trying for human resources. I think we've covered majority of the questions. What materials do you prepare for technical questions? I think Shreya had already given a list of books to be done from.
Yeah, I mean, there are books for the aptitude tests, and for the coding rounds, there are websites like LeetCode and CodeChef. So.
Okay. So I think we can close. We have sufficiently answered many of the questions that were posted. And thank you very, very much for coming live today. You answered all the questions with all your modesty and composed that you could tackle every question that was thrown on you. When will be the mock interviews? I think as soon as you all register, we can get them scheduled, because I have taken specially the time of all these 4 to be made sure that they will definitely guide you, because it is right around the corner. So you should be ready ASAP. So as soon as you register, we start with the process.
You guys can follow our follow the social media pages of Mentorify, so that you keep I mean, they'll be posting about the mock interviews and all of the courses that we mentioned. So that will definitely help you apply for it and stay up.
Hope you had an informative session, all of you all. Thank you for sticking and asking all that mattered to you. I hope you get placed very well and you come back and tell us that this webinar helped you. Thank you. Thank you all our panelists.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Rasika. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Rasika.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.